Shalom Yasharala. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, peace and salutations unto the elect. Today's lesson is going to be a bit different than what I do. And today's lesson is going to be on this man, Jamie Osuna, whose appearance, at first, I thought he was a so-called Latino, but after hearing what he did, his spirit to me more like that of an Edomite. So let's get it
Since
going.
I was a kid, 8, 9 years old, I killed animals. My mom would go to the store, I'll put the cat in the freezer, 15 minutes, let it out, put it in the oven, let it out.
Jamie Osuna, quite possibly one of the most sadistic and heartless murderers to ever walk this earth. This man has no remorse, no empathy. For him, killing people is like a thrill and addiction. Maybe he was born like that, or maybe it could be because of his disturbing past. You see, Jamie likes killing people and he likes being locked up. But we're gonna rewind a bit and go back to his childhood because his trauma dates back to before he was even born.
I'm gonna skip through.
Jamie's mother.
I met her like one time when I came.
And this is what made me realize that he's most likely an Edomite.
But the police didn't.
Despite his looks to me being of a so-called Latino, it could be from Ephraim, tribe of Ephraim, tribe of Issachar, that's what his appearance looked like. But his spirit, the things that he has done, is more than that of an Edomite.
However, as time goes on,
let's keep it going.
A mother of 6 named Yvette Pena is found at that very motel. She has a pair of knives and scissors sticking out of her back.
I met her like one time, and I came back the next night, and I see an opportunity, no one's there.
After some investigation, the authorities then arrest Jamie, but he initially denies committing the murder. However, not long after, in order to avoid the death penalty, Jamie comes out and pleads guilty to 5 charges and first-degree murder.
I did sadistically, premeditatedly, deliberately tortured and murdered Yvette Pena.
Jamie had...
Alright, so you hear him right there admit it. This is Ecclesiasticus 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee in the pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Right, man? And this dude right here, Jamie Osuna, he claimed to be a devil worshiper or something like that. You can see that big ass pentagon on the middle of his forehead, and this isn't no funny shit, man. This is judgment, ultimately judgment of the Lord to that one girl. What's your name?
Premeditatedly, deliberately tortured and murdered Yvette Pena.
Hold on, Slakia.
I thought you were on the call with somebody. Huh? I thought you were on the call with somebody.
Nah, I'm gonna the rest of them. Slakia. But right, man, he said he deliberately, premeditatedly killed and tortured. Hear what he says.
Premeditatedly, deliberately tortured and murdered Yvette Pena.
Jamie had
Yvette Pena, and ultimately that's judgment of the Lord. Right? So right here, he will weep with his eyes, but if he findeth opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And this you hear me? God.
When you wash your body, do you use a moldy lube?
I had a short interruption. They were calling me over there. But
Jamie had zero remorse for what he did. In fact, he claims that he killed her on purpose just to be locked up.
I didn't really want to be in this society no more. I've been in solitude, incarcerated my whole life. I left all my fingerprints and all that. I've done this many times before. I've done crimes before, and I know how to clean shit up.
Avoiding the death penalty, Jamie openly mocks Yvette's family by smirking and waving at them. And when the judge sentenced him to life in prison with no chance of parole, Jamie smiled and gave him a thumbs up. Now you think it's over because he's locked away for good.
Right. And let's get real quick. That no one is innocent. How does it go? I had it in my mind. There it is. I had it in my mind and it kind of slipped, but this is Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Right, man. You know, Yvette Pena, as gruesome as it was, it was judgment, and I don't mean, and I don't mean to mock her or anything, but I found this very to be something that could be to edify the flock, man. This is a prime example that we don't fuck with the Lord, man.
But it's not, because a while later, he ends up killing his own cellmate. The victim in this case was Luis Romero, a man serving a 27-year sentence for second-degree murder. He had just been transferred into that prison and was supposed to be set free on parole very soon. However, that wasn't going to be the case after being locked up with Jamie. Now, here's the controversy. Jamie wasn't allowed to have any cellmates because of how dangerous he was. He would constantly threaten other inmates and guards, and in another incident before this, Jamie found his way into another inmate's cell and slashed the guy in the face, which resulted him into getting 67 stitches. So it's pretty clear that Jamie had to be in isolation. But for some reason, the prison decided to pair the two together in a decision that turned out to be disastrous. As the guards...
Right, man. And that other dude... Let's see how he gets. See what he gets.
Somehow, they didn't notice that Jamie's cell had a white sheet covering the view, which made people question the guards on whether they were doing the checks or not. Anyways, during that time, Jamie made a makeshift knife to torture and kill Luis. Guards found Luis's body dissected, with his eyes, fingers, lungs, heart, and head removed. His mouth was also cut from side to side to resemble the Joker. And what's even more disturbing is that they found Jamie wearing his body parts as a necklace. He was then taken to court once again, and during that court hearing, he continued shouting, "I'm guilty." And for that reason, they deemed him incompetent to stand trial. As of now, he's still serving life in prison, and according to him,
See that, man? Genesis 25:27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Right, man? So, that dude... oh, this ain't... That was from another time. But... But this dude, looked to me at first looked to be a Jake. After seeing what he did, look at that pentagon that I was talking about in the middle of his forehead. Seeing what he did, his spirit is more that of an Edomite, and we just proved it through some scriptures.
there are two other people that he's
he just decapitated another dude in prison, and that just showed you that the prison system is fucked. This place is fucked, man. This place gotta go.
But has never been caught for. So if the courts ever try to pass a future death sentence on him, he has that ace in the hole.
Have you killed anyone else?
Yes.
How many?
2.
Who are they?
Can't tell you, but you will find out. Because I always gotta have an ace in the hole. So when I get convicted of this, I'm gonna go to death row. When I go to San Quentin, I'll probably do 10, 15 years. I'll probably use that to my advantage. If I can go back and change it, I will do it again and over it again. And if I'm released, I'll probably end up back here with the same thing.
Now the question is, what do you do to a man that enjoys doing stuff like this and doesn't mind being locked away forever? Let me know in the comment sections.
No, you do. You end that man. That's what they should have did. But at the end of the day, people who are getting killed like this, getting your head chopped off, getting your lungs taken out, it's judgment, man. And this is some scary shit, man. Some scary ass shit, man. That the Lord does, man. I'm gonna get one last scripture, and I'm gonna close out. Come on, man. Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Right, man. So it's a fearful thing, man. You don't want to get caught up in the mix with the Lord, man, because He's gonna get the upper hand on you every single time. And He's gonna.
Osuna was serving a life.
Jamie Osuna was serving
Look, and this is the reason why I thought he was a. At first, he looked like he's from the tribe of Issachar. He looked like that. You get a clear look at him, and he looks like he's from the tribe of Issachar. And it, he. I'm not saying it's impossible that he's not, Israelite, but from his spirit, I truly believe he's an Edomite. Because ain't no, that this is some Edomite shit, man.
in prison for torturing and murdering a woman in 2011. He was a self-proclaimed Satanist who had a history of attacking his cellmates. He was sent to Corcoran prison after attacking one of his cellmates and causing him to receive 67 stitches, and it was instructed for him to be placed alone in a cell. But in March of 2019, Luis Romero, a man who was serving life in prison for second-degree murder, was placed in the same cell as Jamie, and within 24 hours he was...
Look at that. He was charged with second-degree murder, and the Lord killed him. Why? Because he killed someone else. That's how the judgment of the Lord works.
Found dead. After Luis went to sleep, Jamie put a sheet covering the bars in the cell so no one could look in, and he decapitated Luis. He also cut out his eyes, part of his lungs, ribs, and fingers. Jamie also made a necklace with some of Luis's body parts. The guards were supposed to do routine checks but didn't bother to look behind the sheet to see what was going on. Also falsely reported that everything was okay. They said Jamie was too mentally unfit for trial and was put in a psych ward. He was also shown the crime scene photos and asked to keep them as trophies, but his request was denied. Jamie Osuna was...
Look, man. His title is A Man with 1,000 Faces.
I
Salakia.
sadistically, premeditatedly, deliberately tortured and murdered Yvette Pena. Just I seen opportunity. I didn't know her. I met her. I was introduced to her. I met her like one time, and I came back the next night, and I seen opportunity. No one's there. The Morocco Motel is, they got a lot of parolees right there that parole there's. A lot of people who do drugs, so if they're screaming and yelling and stuff like that, no one's gonna call the cops. No one's gonna interfere with. As you kill a person, it's more of trying to get a rush. It's a rush. It's an addiction. It's a drug. I would rather do that than do drugs. I did.
Right, man. And hey, with that, I want to give our praise, honor, glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, Lord willing was edifying. Lord willing, it proves to you that not everybody that looks like Jake is Jake, and that you gotta go through the spirit, man, because times like this we gotta use the spirit of discernment, man. But with that, I hope it was edifying. Shalom.